Welcome, race fans, to the Stay Tuned Sports Truck Series here at Richmond, where we will race the Richmond 125, race number 14. And this is what it all comes down to for a lot of these drivers tonight. This is the last chance for a lot of these drivers to slot themselves in to the final two spots to race for a championship next week. We are excited here. This all started back at Daytona back in July. Almost 5 months ago, these drivers dedicated themselves to this truck series to be able to race for a chance for that championship. And now we get to see how it all plays out at a short track where beating and banging is where we will find out who has the guts, who has the speed, and who has the raw talent, and most of all, who wants it more than the next guy. We're excited here. Joining me today is David Huckleberry, always doing these wonderful showcasings here up in the sky of Richmond. Joining you as well as myself, Gerald Campbell, the announcer. Just announced this will be my last season of doing the truck series. It has been an honor, and I cannot wait to see how these truck series drivers are able to get it done here at the short track. We have a little bit of a showcasing of how it all wraps up here. In case if you see the numbers showcased in different colors, this is why the drivers in green are the ones locked in. The drivers in orange are the drivers that are currently in on the final four spots. They are not currently locked in. The drivers in yellow have a shot at making it in on points, and the drivers in red are in a must-win situation. So those are what you have to take a look at. It's a fluorescent of colors, and that kind of gives us all a different little aspect approaching this race here tonight. Qualifying has just wrapped up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the grid and see how this story will play out. Starting in the first position, I think it's one of his best qualifying. I think he may have gotten a pole earlier in the year, but another really good qualifying spot here for William White, our English driver here for Abbott Motorsports. One of those drivers trying to find his way in, can still technically get in on points. Going to be starting in the first position. EJ O'Rourke, not racing for any championship hunts, but looking for that trophy at the end of the night, starting in the second position. And the third position, Chris Wright having a good qualifying, as well as Jonathan Cutler. Both of those drivers looking to just try to make their way in on points or however they need to. Jeff Green in a must-win situation in fifth. Justin Fuller going to be starting in the sixth position tonight. Chad Frankenfield trying to go for a trophy. And Corey Abbott will be starting in the eighth position tonight. Cody McCorkle, also one of those drivers, technically can make it in on points. Going to be starting from the ninth position. Trey Holmes will be starting in the 10th position. Vincent Isabella, one of his rare truck occurrence here, showing up for tonight's event, starting in the 11th. And Joe Francis going to be starting from the 12th position. Jeff Ryan going to be starting from the 13th position, and David Dunwoody from the 14th. Mark Murphy will be starting from the 15th position, and Leighton Norgard back in 16th. These drivers back here have to find a way up to the front. Dustin Dewar in a must-win, starting from the 17th. Justin Wadsworth, 18th. Sam Batwell will be starting 19th, and Joshua Freed, 20th. Tate Lytle going to be starting from the back of the field here, starting from the 21st, and Jesse Racimas starting from the 22nd. Michael Hasek, 23rd here tonight, and Brandon Key coming out to start in the 24th. And I believe we have two more, Jaden Racimas in the 25th, and in a must-win situation, Andrew Hardcastle rounding out our field, our final qualifier in the 26th position. Cars are starting to roll out on track. They'll have one more lap around, and then the excitement, all anticipation, and everything these drivers have come to hope for will be figured out here in the next 125 laps. I am so glad that you could be able to tune in, and if someone's not tuning in, you might want to give them a call, because I feel like there's a lot of drivers here that have one thing in mind. get that victory and lock themselves in no matter how it all plays out. Pace car lights are off, and we will be going green next time by here. Again, it is a short track at night. Just kind of gives it an ambiance like no other here. As the pace car will be going down, they will have 125 laps to figure this all out. As we wait for William White to get to the restart line here, where the racing gets good and the good get racing. Let's try to see who gets in. As the green flag is out, William White throws it in, but the 65 is staying right onto the outside, or doing a really good job of hanging on the outside. Normally the bottom line seems to be the way to go around at Richmond, but right now that 65 showing he has the speed, and he with that run on the outside after the 43 got loosed out of coming out of turn 4, then now EJ O'Rourke will lead the field here in a situation where a lot of drivers are coming in trying to get in. Oh, car around. I believe that's number 10 of Jeff Ryan. No caution. He actually keeps it going. Whipped it around and kept going here on the racetrack. I don't see any caution, so they are still going on track. I think he did get quite a bit of front end damage, as you see here. Oh yeah, a lot of front end damage, but kept his foot in it and kept going. Back up front here, the 43 trying to catch back up. William White really would like to be able to get his way into the lead and be able to win, especially with how good the qualifying start for Wright and Cutlip there. Both of those drivers were pretty high up on points, and where they're running at, it is definitely going to be a situation, if that's where they're going to finish here tonight, if you want to be able to make your way in like one of those other drivers, it's going to come down to getting that victory. And William White's trying to do that right here. Richmond has a great way of being able to have a multitude of lines here. As you see, the 65 has a lot higher entry and a little higher all the way through the track. The 43 focuses on that yellow line, and that's where he kind of holds off. Now, the question is, Richmond also has a tendency to burn your tires up very quickly, and right now those two drivers do not look like they are holding back anything. So the question is one of those drivers further back in the field holding out on the speed and trying to play it a little safer here? We'll find out. William White is right on the back bumper of that 65 truck. Able to really wrap it around the bottom there. The majority of the field has single filed out here. So it looks like a two truck getaway here, as they both kind of put some distance on Wright. Chris Wright doing a good job though, staying in third, just right where he needs. He came in tonight the third place in points, so he can still technically, right now where he finishes, even if White wins this race, he still will be able to make it in based off his points he's earned up to this point. On board with William White here, as he is running that bottom yellow line there. Able to do a good job of wrapping around. It seems like the exits where he gets loose seems to be the point where he has problem, especially coming out of this turn. Oh, he goes a little wide there, able to keep it off the wall, but you can definitely see they are fighting the steering wheels here tonight. Back further in the field, we've got some more battling taking place. Looks like back in 19th, Wadsworth, actually the 16th, got some passes being made. Drivers trying to work their way up to the front. One of those, Jesse Racimas, trying to see if he can get it. And had such a good regular season, trying to be able to get it here tonight, come back to having some success. It's been a rough go of it in this playoffs for him. Oh, a driver in the wall, the one there, multiple times right beside the 25 and the 56. That was Jaden Racimas. Tapped the wall a few times coming out of turn 2, able to keep it going. But you can tell it is loose out there. Good battle here. That's Chad Frankenfield underneath the, I believe that is
Jeff Green.
Jeff Green. Yeah, Jeff Green. Jeff Green came in with a must-win situation here. He's going to definitely not make it easy on Chad Frankenfield, if you can believe it. Trying to hold him down. It looks like Chad Frankenfield around turn 1 and 2 able to get around Jeff Green, but Jeff Green right back on the back bumper of Chad Frankenfield here. Back up front here, it is still William White right on the back bumper of that 65. 65 had started entering the turns higher and higher, and that is starting to slow both of these drivers down. He starts up high but goes right back down in front of the 43, kind of cuts off that air. And now here comes Chris Wright, the 42, starting to gain some time on those two drivers. They had gotten to over a second lead and now are quickly dropping off over a tenth a lap to Chris. So Chris trying to see if he can get his first win in a pretty important race here. So the question is, who's burning their stuff up? Because it's hard to tell who is pushing harder than the rest. They all seem to be a little bit out of shapes here, but we do have a battle back there. Racima's trying to get another spot there. Oh, the 69 kind of put a block on him going into turn number 3. That was Mark Murphy cutting the nose off of that 70 truck. 70 truck once again trying to see if he can get his bumper underneath. He's got to be careful. It does not take a lot for a truck to be this loose for one wrong bump to send them around. That's the last thing you need, is someone angry at you when you're trying to win your way in. That's a driver we're going to have to keep an eye on, that 56. And try to see if he can come up here and help his teammate there in the 11. Maybe lock down that win so that way a driver cannot win their way in. 56 is not a playoff driver, but is teammates with the 11 of Cup, who is technically in on points as they finish right now. For a short track, this has been incredibly clean racing.
Oh, knock on wood.
Knock on wood, yeah. As, it does not take much. If we have a late race caution, you know all bets are out. Friendships or not, it's going to be go time. Right now, drivers are playing friendly, even if there's some blocks being made. Up a little bit further, I think over with McCorkle, there is a battle. Vincent Isabella underneath him. Going in and coming out of turn 4 here, Vincent Isabella able to wrap around the bottom lane. Vincent hasn't been in a truck race in a while, but coming here tonight, showcasing that he has speed in this truck. He had raced for a championship not too long ago in the truck series, but Vincent Isabella trying to wrap around that bottom lane. Corporal doing a really good job of taking very, very high lane with momentum, but will lose that spot. Now he will have that number 21 of Corey Abbott underneath him. Well, a driver that has just made up 2 spots in something of a fierce amount of time. That is our third place driver of Fuller. He's already won his way in last week, able to get it done. Showed dominance in the first race, had issues, kept him from being able to win that race. Came back last week and able to get it done with a victory that has locked himself in. But that does not exclude him from being able to come back here tonight and repeating that victory and going out and trying to get another one. That's what he's trying to do right here. Already up 3 positions from his starting position and running some really fast lap times right now. A driver that's struggling is Chris Wright. Lost 2 positions within the last 3 laps here. Has just lost it to Cutler. And now he's got a very fast steaming up from the back. Chad Frankenfield starting to roll in on him. So maybe Chris Wright not able to have the long run speed he would like. definitely a few of them already showcasing that they're definitely practicing for the long runs here. One of those being Fuller. Still up front, they have not left each other at all from the start of this race. That 65 still in front of the 43. I wonder if they have noticed that the 55 has now gotten to that third position and starting to run similar lap times, sometimes faster lap times than them. So I do think that they're probably watching out. They probably are making sure not to rough each other up here or use their stuff up racing against each other. And William White just trying to hold off until he has a shot at being able to get around to Roar. Already 28 laps down of this event. Goes by pretty quickly, Dave, whenever it's only 22-second lap times.
Sure does.
Good racing here for the lead still. I don't think the split between first and second has been more than a couple tenths at any point in this race. And that just kind of shows you how good Richmond is. There's multiple lines you can run. We've seen the 65 run a lot higher line and the 43 a lot lower of the line, but yet neither one seems to be able to have the advantage over the other. Ooh, a little looseness from Joe Francis. Gonna lose that position. He was trying to get around Dunwoody there, and the 46 got underneath him, and the truck did not agree with that. Now he will have a little bit of competition from behind. That will be the 12 truck. That's a Leighton Norgard, also one of those drivers trying to get up there and try to win his way in here tonight. And they may go 3 wide here going into turn 1. No, 2 wide. Looks like the 12 has backed out a little bit there, not to allow that 3 wide situation. But here comes the 88. That's Trey Holmes there, right into the inside. Seems like the inside is the way to make the pass, but you have to have momentum. If you lose that momentum, another driver tries to attempt the pass on you, and they're starting to lose time now, being stuck behind Dunwoody here. You can see Dunwoody has a mean posse behind him. They are all trying to figure out a way here. Joe Francis able to stick his nose out to the back.
Loose.
Wow, Dunwoody got loose coming out of turn 4 there. Oh boy, hope he doesn't slide up. He took a very low entry there. Joe Francis trying to wrap around that outside lane. Oh, the Leighton Norgard smacks the wall. Here comes the 56 there. As we have a glob of trucks there, all trying to figure out a way to get around Dunwoody, and it's stacked up here. Tate Lytle trying to wrap around the outside with that 56. The 88 will cut right in front of them there. Looks like they've all decided the best way to get around Dunwoody would be on the outside. As Joe Francis has cleared himself, as well as a Leighton Norgard. Now Trey Holmes attempts it on the outside of that 46. It's stacked up, and the big loser, other than Dunwoody, would be the 70 there. It's going to lose a couple positions. So the 70 truck there, Racina's now stuck behind the 46. Oh, 56! Wow, what a crossover move by Tate Lytle. Did not want the outside, found a way to get to the inside, and now is going to try to take advantage of that as here comes the 88 to the outside of a Leighton Norgard. What incredible racing here, but I can guarantee you this is not good for their tires with all the maneuvers they're having to make out here. They're losing a ton of time to the leaders here. As, whoa, Tate Lytle took a low entry, just trying to see if he can attempt a 3-wide pass. Unable to do so, but we do have a battle up there, I think, for the lead. No, it's separated. There was a situation with our graphics there. It showed White trying to make the pass, still trying to make a pass. Oh, that is why, because he is. The 65 has a very bizarre line. He is way higher than he was. I think he went too high the last time by. And the 43 gained almost 3/10 of a lap and then lost all of it, and I see why now. It was a bizarre line that 65 was trying to run. I think he realizes that the game is up. There's some faster trucks now starting to run them down. Actually, 2 fast trucks here. That will be Justin Fuller there. And then the other one is Jonathan Cutler, who is kind of grabbed onto the back bumper of that 55 and towed himself up with the 55 to go to battle here with these guys. So Fuller now towing the 11 truck up to this battle for second place at the moment. Other battles that have happened, Jeff Green has gotten around Chris Wright for 6th. Abbott able to get around McCorkle. Looks like more battling as it looks like the 70 truck underneath the 12 truck. That's another battle going on there for the 14th position. But back up front here, Fuller has absolutely caught to the back bumper of White. This is a battle for second. He is now on the back bumper of that 43 truck. As a coincidence, he may not get to 43, lap 43, staying in front of him here, as the 55's got a good running truck on that bottom lane, still has the grip. Now going to try to take a look to the inside, dive bombs it in there, able to get underneath the 43 coming out of turn 4. They're going to be side by side at the line. Still the 43 able to hold off for that lap, but it does not look like for long. It's once again the 65 almost to the outside wall he's running, which is very bizarre, and I don't know if it's helping. He's doing it again in that turn. He is trying something completely different on the track, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's working or not. It doesn't look like it's hurting him as of now, but definitely trying some different things out there, O'Rourke is. But Fuller able to get that second position. Now Jonathan Cutler going to look to try to see if he can take that third position. This is all Cutler wants to see. He wants to be ahead of all of the drivers that need to win or pass him and gain points on him. He just needs to be ahead of all of them, and he would not care at that point who wins the race. He will be locked in at that point for the championship. So he needs to get around the 43 in case of any kind of strategy the 43 has to be able to find his way back up to the front. Fuller now going to set his sights on that 65 truck. See if that 65 has any more tricks. He ran it for a couple laps trying to check to see if there was grip up there, I think, because he is not continuing to run that high side. It looks like Sam Batwell coming in, getting in some tires here. As he's going to guarantee run some very quick laps now that he's got some tires, because the lap times have fallen off quite a bit, over a second and a half from what they were doing in qualifying. So I guarantee you these drivers are going to be noticing the speed that 47 has now with the new fresh set of tires here. 3 sets of tires, including the ones they have on, so 2 in the pits. So they can take them now and then take them later, but the question is, when do you want to come down for your pit stop? Do you want to do it at the halfway point, or do you want to wait out as long as you can, because it is a short track? You will be a lap down if a caution comes out, almost 2 laps down depending on where you're at running at on track. That's where Sam Batwell is. He's 2 laps down, so he has 2 laps to have to try to make it back up to get back any kind of advantage from that. The 65's kind of running the bottom. He has not tried anything. He is slowly losing that lead to the 55, but he has done a really good job of just being able to hold the bottom. Now the 55 is going to try some things. knows he cannot be able to follow him in the tracks of the 65 if he hopes to make a pass. But behind them, looks like the 70 is underneath the 12 truck. Once again, Racema's trying to make it work, but he is so loose coming out of the turns. It makes it hard to put the power down, as he's going to once again in turns 3 and 4 try to dive it in there. But that Leighton Norgard number 12 truck is able to get the power down on these straightaways and able to get the advantage. Both of these drivers are almost at a point of a must-win at how situations are running right now. Another battle there, the 19 of Wadsworth underneath Murphy. That's a battle for the 16th position. Looks like Cutlip now is starting to make a move here. That's a battle for third. Cutlip underneath the 43. They were battling here, and very quickly Sam Patwell has caught them. And it's now trying to find a way around to use those fresh tires. He doesn't want to play a factor in the championship, but he's got about a second faster truck right now with this fresh set, so he's trying to figure out who's going to take the position here, as the 43 is battling really hard on the outside of that 11 truck of Cutlip. Side by side for the last 2 laps here. William White really not wanting to let that position go to Cutlip. But they are both losing a ton of time to the leaders. They are already a second, a little over a second and a half back from the leader now. Cutlip throws it in there. This might be it. This might be what Cutlip needed. No, he was not able to close the door. The 43 able to hold off onto the outside once again here. But he might, every time I say he might, the 43 finds some grip and able to put the power down before the 11 can shut the door on him. Now I can say the 11 is finally able to get that position of third. Now Cutlip really has nothing to worry about with who wins it, as long as things run like they are. A battle for the lead now starting to shape up to 65. Once again, running a very high lane. The 55 now trying some things as well. Both of those drivers trying to see if they've got some more grip, a little bit more speed. At least in turns 1 and 2, they're running a lot higher. See how they run this time around. No, now the 65 runs the bottom, and the 55. So there just seems to be an average amount of grip anywhere on the racetrack, but it doesn't look like there's anything better than what the bottom is, or everyone would be running the top side by now. But maybe they're trying to rubber that in here with running up there from time to time. This is 65 runs higher than I've seen him do before. He was about half a truck length away from the wall doing a maneuver. Oh, caution around it. Sam Batwell around out of turn 2 hit the inside wall right behind the leaders, and that will cause a caution almost at the halfway point. Some drivers had already pitted. Dustin Dewar, Hardcastle, they had just pitted just about a couple laps ago. That's tremendously unfortunate for those 2 drivers. You see Sam Batwell trying to wrap around the bottom there. And, I don't know, Dave. That looked like a situation the 47 just got loose right in front of the leader. I would not put blame on the 55.
We're going to call that a racing incident?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and call that a racing incident. No one other than the 47 was hurt anyhow, so we'll call it a racing situation. The 47 got a little loose, and the 55 was just in an unfortunate situation trying to run down the leader. So in a situation where you wouldn't really want to lift. So we'll just call that a racing situation for these drivers.
Everybody's in the pits now. The exception of Joe Francis.
I think he may have missed his pit stall.
And try it again.
Yeah, he's going to try it again. That's not going to help Joe Francis. He's going to be in the back of the field. And it's not a track that you can easily make up a ton of spots on. So Joe Francis is not going to have the type of night he had wanted, that's for sure.
Well, we don't know how many cautions you're going to get, so let's pay some bills real quick. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we're back here as they're getting the one to go for them to take the restart here. So they're going to be lining up side by side as it looks like the 65 has decided to take the outside lane, allowing Fuller to have the inside lane. And at the pits, it looks like the 65 able to get it over the 55. William White in third, Cutler fourth, Jeff Green able to make up some positions up to fifth, Frank Field sixth, Chris Wright seventh, Tate Lytle making up a lot of spots up to eighth, Cody McCorkle ninth, and Corey Abbott in 10th. So we are ready to get going about the halfway point here at this point. So drivers are going to have one more go of it. They know what to expect at this point as far as tire wear and how things will shake up with the handling of their trucks. As the green flag is out, the 65 is very much able to clear himself of that 55 truck. Now able to get back out front. So the 65.
Oh, 88, Trey Holmes around.
Trey Holmes around and caution is out, but no damage. It looks like the 88 may have just gotten loose there and spun himself. We'll go back and watch, of course. That's exactly what it was, too. He just got a little bit too happy on the throttle there. Spun himself around, but luckily for him, no damage on the truck, it looks like. But he will go ahead and get that tally for causing the caution. Well, we didn't have a caution for almost 60-something laps, and then we had one out of turn 2 at that point. So luckily, no one really destroyed from that situation, but unhappy Trey Holmes going to have to try to work his way up from the back of the pack now. Did shake up a few positions up there. It looks like Frank able to get back around Jeff Green, and Chris Wright now up to or fell back to 8th, and Tate Lytle up to 7th. So a few changes that have occurred from that restart. Now the question is, Dave, they have one set of tires left in the pits. There is a dramatic difference in new to old tires, definitely with handling. If we get more cautions here, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to use that set of tires.
I would keep that set in my pocket if I were somebody that was needing a good finish.
That is true. I think if I was a driver like Jeff Green, I'm doing the opposite of what the leader does. Leader
Sure.
stays out, I go in. Leader goes in, I stay out. So I don't think they're going to have to worry about it right now. Not enough laps down from that to be able to need the tires per se, but definitely for consideration if there's another caution later in the run here. That would definitely shake things up for sure.
As they run right now, we have no change in the order of the top 4 that would advance.
That is correct. Cutlip and Chris Wright are in good enough positions. They wouldn't have to worry about anything. Cutlip would just like to keep any driver that needs that spot behind him. And then I think he'd just be just fine finishing 3rd place, considering that, and getting himself locked in.
And Chris wants to finish within 13 spots of him, and he'll advance.
Well, let me go ahead and give it over to Dave here. He's going to give us a couple of our sponsor shout-outs here tonight. We appreciate all our sponsors being able to broadcast this with us and being able to put on a wonderful show for everyone at home.
Okay, this is the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series. Stay Tuned Sports was started in 2016 by 2 friends, even though hating each other's teams, with the purpose of producing a sports show like no other. They wanted to create a show that would cover all major sports with a little bit of comedy mixed in. Stay Tuned Sports releases weekly episodes covering NFL, NHL, Major League Baseball, and even some college football. So if you're looking for some hot takes mixed in with some good ball busting, then this is the show for you. Stay Tuned Sports, your home for sports nonsense. TA Services for 36 years has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider, offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing and fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. TA Services moves what matters to you. Let the TA Services team make ship happen for you.
And the green flag is out here. 65 elected to take the bottom lane this time. Now Fuller trying to do what the 65 did, take that outside lane to the lead, but unable to do so. 65 had a really good start there, able to block off that bottom lane and get himself back out front, but there is tough battling occurring all through the field here. A couple drivers tapping some walls coming out of turn 4 as they are all pushing way in. Ooh, couple trucks around the 69 around, right in front of the 12. Joe Francis around as well. I think everyone is okay. It didn't look like anybody got major contact, but it all occurred going into turn number 1. Major checkups caused other drivers to have to lock up the brakes, and around they went at that point. So we'll get a good perspective here from the 69, what happened. See that bottom lane check up, and then the 2 comes up trying to avoid the 21. 2 didn't quite know where the 21 was going to land with how bad those tail spins were coming out. I'm definitely putting that down as a racing situation. The 2 is definitely not looking directly who's beside him. Wow, look at this. The 12
Just missed him.
Oh, just missed him. Well, 69 did get some hard contact with the outside wall. Joe Francis got a little tap from behind during that and spun himself out, lost all those positions that he was trying to gain back up to the front.
So we are calling this a racing incident, no tallies?
Oh, yeah.
Since we are serving as race control right now?
I would definitely consider that just a racing situation. The 21 of Corey Abbott there got a little loose, just trying to keep off from the guy in front of him, and the 2 car trying to avoid what I would have thought was a caution occurring with the 21. Made a little contact with the 69, and around the 69 went. Oh, no. hearing some news as far as maybe a jump start from the 55 here. See how they give that.
That would be us. So we would have to figure it out, and we can't do it on the broadcast. So you can either go back and look at it.
I believe they've already given him the UL. It is out of our hands at that point.
Right, yeah. If iRacing's going to do it, you got to do it. So.
Yeah, it is a situation. We don't have to worry about that anymore. iRacing has pretty much taken that out of our hands, would you say, Dave?
Yeah, that's
and
good.
Has been able to finally be able to make a system where it can judge if the driver that is not technically the leader, it jumps the throttle before the guy on the necessarily to say the leader of the race. It will penalize that driver that jumps that start. And that has just occurred now to the 55 trucks of Fuller. So he will be at the back of the pack now. I think they actually, Elite does a little differently. It diminishes the penalty a little bit because I believe it's actually a hold on pit road on iRacing, I believe. And I think they just give them an EOL for the start of the restart here. So maybe not as harsh as it would be on a normal iRacing event. Pace car lights are off, and we'll see where the 65 wants to start. Looks like he decides to take the outside lane there. And that brings some very hungry people up here as they realize the 55, who was definitely looking as probably a top player here, has now essentially found himself deep in this field, the deepest you can get, all the way at the very back. So the question is are we about to see some chaos? As drivers are definitely going to see this as an opening to find their way to try to get in on a victory. Right behind the 65, we got Chad Frankerfield and Tate Lytle, who are also past champions trying to get up there. Flag is back out. EJ O'Rourke able to get on that throttle, able to clear himself by about 4 truck lengths, able to get down back to that bottom lane and go back out to leading. Now Cutlip is able to clear Chad Frankenfield. Not so. Chad Frankenfield still to the outside, battling for that second position. Cutlip would love to be able to just clear him and set sail, because it is starting to get hairy back there. There's a lot of hard racing. Turn 1 is so difficult because there's so many different braking lines. If there's going to be anyone running into the back of each other, it would more likely come from turn 1. Oh boy, I'm watching some drivers do some beating and banging back there. Going to go back there as you got Jeff Green trying to clear himself in front of the 70 truck. He's got Chris Wright right behind him. We got beating and banging back there still happening. As, there are some angry drivers over radio letting each other know. Wow, Vincent Isabella put a bumper to the back of the 19 truck there. And the 19 is not happy. He is very much not happy over the radio to Vincent Isabella, because that was the 3rd time Vincent has bumped him now. Whoa! Driver Dustin Newer back there got loose, able to correct it, but loses quite a few spots. Battle there now, Corey Abbott underneath the 46 truck. Just now got around him, so that's another position gain. There's too many battles to really focus on here, Dave. Everyone out there has definitely lost the patience. They have it has left the building. They are now using those bumpers to other purposes other than just moving the air out of the way. They have started to use it to move the other competition out of the way as bumping is starting to happen. See Fuller now trying to work his way through.
I'm sure
not going to be.
He's going to be exciting coming up through the field.
He is definitely going to be. Around past the 10 truck. Oh, multiple trucks involved. They're able to keep it going somehow.
No caution.
Wow. The 10 truck got incredibly sideways there, still making contact. Wow, Fuller definitely threw that in there, and I do not think he was quite clear of being able to make
Probably,
that
I
move.
would have voted for a tally if we had a caution.
That would have been probably a tally in that situation, because that was very, very, very aggressive by the 55, and he's got to be careful. He's making some enemies here, and he's locked in. He doesn't need to win. He definitely doesn't need enemies going into the final race. We have seen that affect the playoff situation in elite racing, where if you accumulate too many enemies, they tend to not give you room in the championship race and tend to try to help the other guys out. So he's got to watch out. He does not need to be going out here and getting in contact with other drivers here. EJ O'Rourke starting to put some space. He saw that earlier in the race. We'll see if Cutlip is able to track that back down to him. William White now back up into that third position, able to get around Chad Frankenfield, trying to get back into that running for that lead. Jeff Green right in front of the 70 truck there, battling there as well. As looks like also right in front of Chad Frankenfield, 56, trying to find a way around Chad Frankenfield. So they're battling all throughout the top 10. These drivers are, I guarantee you, are pushing as hard as they can, because we only have 35 laps left to go in this event, and this is coming down to a patience game, I think. A good battle there with Chad Frankenfield and Tate Lytle for the fourth position. Tate Lytle starting all the way back in the 21st position, trying to find his way back up to the front here. Keep an eye on Fuller at all times now. He seems to bring the excitement here as he's trying to get around Wadsworth there. That will be for the 14th spot. Tate Lytle now underneath Chad Frankenfield here in turns 3 and 1 and 2 here, coming out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. They're side by side. Looks like Tate Lytle will have the advantage. Throws it in there. Is he going to be able to clear himself? No, Chad Frankenfield holds him. Oh, they get very close there. Tate Lytle, I think, said they had a little bit of neck code. Almost brought both of them into that outside wall. That would have gotten messy. Chad Frankenfield still holding up that outside spot, inches around that outside lane there. But now looks like Tate Lytle able to get himself clear. Here comes Chad Frankenfield. Say no more. Here he comes again, as he's going to try to jump his way over the 56 here. Able to get back underneath him. Now they're going to be side by side. 56 now is going to have to try to hold him down. Tate Lytle is going to have to wonder if the 15 is going to slide up into him. Very close there in turns 3 and 4. I think Chad got a little loose, and it's going to give that spot back. Tate Lytle cuts the nose off the 15, makes him a little shorter, and he is able to get in front of him now. Tate Lytle was not wanting to wait any longer on the 15, able to get himself out in front of him. Now going to try to see if he can track down, get a whiff of the front. As now Chad Frankenfield is going to be set to hammer, and he's going to have to battle with the 38 there, Jeff Green. Jeff Green's now trying to see if he can be able to work his way up there in a must-win situation. So caution comes out, he's going to want to be in the best spot he can. He's got that 70 truck pounding him, another one of those drivers that started in the back of the field. We've seen how difficult it's been for the 70 to make any passes with how loose his truck is. Tate Lytle finds himself 2.5 seconds back from the lead. Becoming difficult to make that up. But how consistent EJ O'Rourke is, no matter what line he takes, as it looks like the 55 is going to run the outside lane around the 46 there. That's going to put Fuller up into that 13th position now, as they see a groups of a pretty 5-truck group in front of him that he can now try to go to battle with. This is exactly what we wanted. We wanted a lot of hard racing here in the championship race, and that's exactly what we've gotten.
Going into the championship race, not the championship race.
That's true. Sorry about that. Not the championship.
You were so eager. You were so eager.
Oh, no. It's going to get even more exciting. You're not going to want to miss the championship race. Once we narrow it down to 4 drivers, they will be battling for a chance of greatness. To be able to go for a championship at Homestead, of all places, one of the most exciting mile and a half. And you know those drivers are going to be putting in the laps. They're going to be putting in the time. But before they can do that, they have to make it around here and get their way in. Right now, Cutlip and Wright are technically in based off of where they're running on points. O'Rourke is not one of the drivers needing to win for a championship. He is not championship eligible. He is just trying to get that trophy. But I have started seeing Cutlip very quickly starting to track down that 65. He is now with only a couple truck lengths behind him, so Cutlip having a really good run here in this late stage of the race with 24 laps to go. He finds himself only 3/10 back, so he's gained tenths of a second on that 65. I think right now the 11 truck just does not want to see a caution. If he wins or not, he would rather this just play out. Now he's on the back bumper of that 65 truck. He's been pretty much just kind of playing it safe. We've never really seen the 11 truck having to make the hard pass or having to really charge his way up through the field. He's started up front. He's been behind a few drivers and just kind of running in that top 4 the entire race. But here late in the run, he's now starting to put the pressure for the lead here. And he has a good shot at getting it here. On board with Cutlip here, he's running a lot lower of a line. But look at the smoothest he is on that steering wheel. Barely turning it in turns 3 and 4 at all. And he gets such a good run coming out of the turns there. He's definitely got the advantage on pace to that 65. 65 has actually started slowing him up. Looking to the inside, Cutlip is now to the inside of the 65. This has been the biggest battler yet for the 65 at this point. O'Rourke has done an amazing job of having control of this race, but now he's got Cutlip, a hungry driver, behind him. Cutlip doesn't want to just play it on points. He wants to go out and get this victory. Oh no, caution is out on the track. Oh no, this changes everything. Oh no, this is not what the 11 wanted. As it looks like the 1 may have been involved in this caution. This has changed everything up here.
Well, he's running all by himself.
Well, that's definitely his fault. There's we're going to have to see. There's pit stops going on. We know situation with the 1. He would be considered at fault in that situation. We have everyone coming down pit road. But the question is, we're going to have to keep an eye on the front row or the front of pit road and keep an eye on who is going to take 2 tires. Who's going to play strategy here? Is everyone going to take 4? I would have to believe some of those drivers in a must-win situation are going to gamble on 2 tires here. We're going to see. We're going to be on the end of pit road, see how it all plays out. Looks like Tate Lytle had played strategy, as well as the 65 and the 43. They've all taken 2 tires. Cutlip is the first driver out on 4 tires. So the 65 trying to play a little bit of conservation here. Going to take 2 tires to make sure He's the first driver. He does not want to give up the lead here to anybody. So now the 65 is going to still be out front with Tate Lytle right behind him now with 2 tires. We'll have to see how it all shakes up, see how far away Cutlip is, because Cutlip now finds himself behind quite a few trucks here. I don't know. Is Mark Murphy staying out?
Yep, he stayed out. He's chosen the bottom.
Oh, so Mark Murphy playing completely different strategy game. Mark Murphy's actually going to be leading this event, staying out on old tires, way old tires here. So we're having a run through the field here. Leighton Norgard in 7th. I think Cutlip is the first driver with with a fresh set of 4 tires.
4 sets of tires. How do you fit them all on there?
Yeah, he's a big rig. I think Corey Abbott has 2 tires on as well. I think Chad Frankenfield has decided to go with 4, and I think everyone from Chad Frankenfield on back has went with 4 tires. So yeah, from 8th on back, other than Corey Abbott, we'll have to keep an eye on these drivers and see in this short amount of time, are they able to take the advantage of the fresh set of tires, the fresher set of left side tires, and get the advantage on them? Or is this played out perfectly for some of them? Oh, the biggest thing is going to be a question here, if anything, is Mark Murphy going to have any type of tire spin? Because he's got old tires. He's got quite old tires here. So Mark Murphy playing a very risky strategy call here. He's going to have a very hungry William White right behind him. He has to get in on a win here, William White does at this point.
I'm going to wager that Mark's not going to lead back to the line.
I don't know if he's going to be leading after turn 2. I don't know if we're going to be under green after turn 2. But we're going to have to figure it out here. And these drivers are going to have to figure each other out here. Because here we get going. And they're going to have to do that in a very quick motion. As here they come to the restart line. It's going to be on that 69 truck. He's able to get going. Good news for everyone. He had the tire strength to not spin the tires. Here, 3 wide into turn number 1 here. As that 56 jumps to the outside. The 69 slides up the racetrack. William White now trying to find his way underneath Tate Lytle. Oh, Tate Lytle knocks the nose off the 43 to get down to the bottom lane. 65 now retakes the lead here at the start-finish line. It will be the 65 leading the race here, as we have a lot of drivers with fresh sets of tires trying to make the move. Here comes Cutlip on that outside lane at 69 into the wall. Hard contact into the outside wall. Keeps it going here. 3 wide now. Cutlip is going to be squeezed. Caution is out. We have a spin out of turn 4. It looks like the 19 of Wadsworth, just when everything was just about to come to a crazy head here at the front. They're going to have to restack it.
Gerald, we've been asked to check the lane change on the start for the 65, so I'll pull it up for you.
Yeah, you can. I'm almost certain he did it after the line.
Okay, look at it.
So we're going to keep an eye on the 65 of Tate Lytle. We do take bribes. So
the 65. Watching, the 65 of O'Rourke, not 56.
Oh, the 65.
Yep.
Oh, we'll keep an eye on EJ O'Rourke here.
So
what's considered a lane change? I mean, are you not allowed to go down?
You can't go down before the start-finish line. So, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did go down. Are you supposed to say...
Yeah, so that's a lane change on the 65. Confirmed.
Oh, I thought it was supposed to go below the yellow line, is it not?
No, like you can't pull out of your own line. 8 holds his line, 56, right? And so 65 goes down before he starts to just cross the start finish. That's the way I would understand.
We'll have to keep an eye on. And let's look at the wreck here. So we're going to get, I guess you call it the 65 as far as that goes, but it looks like there was about a 3-car wreck that we'll have to keep an eye on as well.
Yeah, we're also being asked to look 46 car on the rechange. What are we calling on that there, Gerald?
I would say that would be on the 25 sliding into the 19 there. 19 really was not loose or out of the way there.
My only thought on the lane change by Rourke would be if he's the first car in that lane, isn't he establishing the lane?
That's what I had originally thought. If he was a different driver, like in the back, I thought the leader was allowed to, as long as he doesn't go below the yellow line. I mean, I don't know if NASCAR really judges going down as a lane change. I wouldn't personally. I don't think that's if a driver behind him went down, that's a different lane change. It's up to you, Dave. I don't know how he distributed that rule there, but it doesn't look like we get to make that decision. The 65 has come down pit road already.
Okay, we still have to look at the 46, the green flag.
See, now if the 46 goes down before the start-finish line, that's establishing a new line.
Yeah, because he should be right behind the 82.
He should be staying in the line. I don't know if the 65 was... He is the line.
Yeah, so he goes... 46 does change.
He was even underneath the driver. Yep. So the 46 is absolutely would be considered. But we'll have to make that decision quickly here as they're already lined up. As looks like we're about to go green once again. Now it's going to be Tate Lytle leading the event with William White to the outside lane. So now William White finds a front row situation here, but he has to get around a very talented Tate Lytle. Unable to get the best restart there as Chad Frankfield's going to come down a little bit into the side of the 70. They're 3 wide. Oh boy, he got very, very close there. Oh, contact Cody Funkel there into the outside wall. 3 wide. Chad Frankenfield ducks it in the middle there underneath the 11 truck as Chad Frankenfield trying to make some maneuvers here. He's now going to be onto the outside of the 11 truck going in to turn number 3. There's a side-by-side battle of the 70 for Seamus and White right in front of him. That's a battle for second place. Tate Lytle has absolutely taken off from these drivers as he has over a second lead now in front of them all. And here comes the 70 truck of Jesse Racines, able to get out in front. The caution is out.
I'm not seeing who. Joe Francis, maybe?
Oh, yeah. Their Joe Francis is around in turns, I believe, 3 and 4 there. Oh, no, 1 and 2.
We had some contact there with the 10 and the 22.
Oh, the 55 as well got some contact. Oh, contact there. The 10 and the 22 get contact. Yeah, that would definitely be a situation that the 10 had come up before he was necessarily clear. So we'll go to the 10 truck. It was just by inches, too. He had almost cleared him. If it was just a couple inches, I don't think that would have happened. But unfortunately, the 10 came up just at the last second. And around goes the 22 back into the 35 there. Joe Francis spun around into the outside wall. So that will be a hard contact for the 35.
And I believe we're still short a decision on the Josh Freed.
Oh yeah, no. As far as the previous contact,
Yeah,
yeah,
what did
no,
we decide here?
absolutely.
Is this on the
The
25?
25, yeah, that would be considered a tally on the 25
Okay.
from the previous contact.
Yeah.
Well, craziness has occurred here, folks. A lot of craziness here at the end, and we knew this was going to happen. Aggression is here. We have two drivers here running second and third in a pretty much must-win situation. Racimus and William White, both of those drivers are definitely looking at trying to get that win from Tate Lytle. And if that means a bump, I think that might just be what we get here, as we are going to have a green-white checker here to settle things out. Well, right now, Tate Lytle leads the event here. Racimus runs in second, as well as William White in third. Both of those drivers in a must-win situation. Chad Frankenfield just trying to get a trophy here tonight, as well as Tate Lytle is. Cutlip just trying to hopefully hold out and hope for his teammate there, Tate Lytle, to get the victory. He does not need a new winner, or he will be out of the chase. Cody McCorkle, as well as Leighton Norgard, Jeff Green, and Dustin Dewar in a must-win situation. So there are more must-win situations in the top 10 than there are not. As said, Chris Wright in back there just needs to keep certain points gap between him and Cutlip, and he will be in on points. So Chris Wright's only concern is not to be involved.
Yeah, just stay out of trouble. Stay clean.
Yeah, that's coming from Dave, his sponsor.
Yeah.
Just stay clean, Chris, and you'll be fine. But that's easier said than done at a short track where trouble doesn't necessarily have to have your name on it. It just needs to have somebody else's name and then shipped to you, and then you get charged for all the shipping charges there. As looks like they're going to be stacking them back up here to go green. It's going to be the first attempt at a green-white checkered here. Tate Lytle is going to hope that he has another restart like he did on the previous to be able to get himself clear of the battling and hopefully not to be a part of it. As here they come to the restart line. The pace truck is down. It all started in July. It comes down to this. Who is able to get themselves into the playoff or the final race of the championship? Tate Lytle once again with a fantastic restart, able to get himself clear. I'm seeing a couple drivers almost look like they wall ride on the outside lane there. It looks like so far the first two drivers have cleared themselves. Will they get to the white flag? Here they come out of turn number 4 to the white flag, so they will race their way back to the start-finish line. Now it comes down. Will Racimus have a shot at being able to get the victory? Is he going to throw it in on Tate Lytle? Going into turn number 3. Racimus right behind. Tate Lytle coming out of turns 3 and 4. It looks like he was unable to, as Tate Lytle is going to play spoiler here at Richmond and win it for his team and his teammate. As Tate Lytle comes from the back of the pack of 21st and able to get it done here tonight on a race that so many prepared for. He came in with determination and he got it done here tonight. Well, that will lock in our championship 4. It's pretty well determined at that point of who gets in. Tate Lytle is not one of those that has to worry about that. He just came in for a trophy and he stole it. I'll give it over. Dave, do you have the championship 4 determinations?
I don't have it officially, but I don't see anything that's going to change it from being Trey Eidson, Justin Fuller, Chris Wright, and Jonathan Cutlip.
It's pretty well in doubt. It's those 4 drivers, unless if there's they find something illegal on that 56 truck. I don't think there's any way they can really change anything based off the finishes.
Yeah, Racimus was about 21 points back of Chris Wright. and he wouldn't have made up that many. He was another 8 points back of Jonathan Cutlip. So let me see how far him and Cutlip are only 4 spots apart. So Cutlip should still stay above him for point.
Well, William Wright really tried there at the end, so good finish from him. But he will come up short from Jonathan Cutlip. Jonathan Cutlip will come home in 5th. But let's go ahead and go through the running scoreboard so that way everyone can really get an idea where their favorite driver had finished here tonight. Finishing in first was Tate Lytle, able to get the victory over some very hungry drivers there, Jesse Racimas and William White there. Both of those drivers, good runs, but unfortunately a few spots short from what they needed here tonight. Jeff Rankenfield able to work his way up to the 4th position in front of a very relieved Jonathan Cutlip, and very pleased with how his teammate was able to get that win. As Cody McCorkle able to come back to 6th after slamming that outside wall. Leighton Norgard to 7th. Chris Let's go ahead and bring up our 3rd place driver. Our 3rd place driver, he came so close, not only in points, but with a victory. Had a really good finish here at the end. Had a great start, starting on pole, but it just did not work out exactly the way you wanted to. What could you have changed? What kind of strategy could you have implemented there, William, to be able to get just a couple spots more, which is what you would have needed?
I think my main weakness all race was my restarts. The main race start, I got an awful launch and EJ just blew right past me, and as soon as I fell into 2nd, I feel like I immediately put myself in a kind of hole from the get-go. I worked my tail off to try and get back past him for those 35-40 laps that it was just me and him, but I don't think the tyres could quite hold on. I dropped down to 4th. I kept my head in the game as best I could. I employed the 2-tyre strat, which I think was the way, and I got up to at a peak 2nd on that final restart. But yeah, I think if I took 4, I think it was done and dusted. I had to take 2 to even have a shot. If I just did the same strategy, I was just not going to get ahead of anyone. Yeah, apart from restarts, maybe just the long run pace, being able to stick with EJ for a bit longer, I might have gotten past him. But other than that, I feel like I gave it 110% tonight.
Well, again, congratulations on a 3rd. It's not what you wanted, but for the start of the season, you've had really good runs. You can't be disappointed. You essentially was the next guy out, and you brought everything to the table. You just came up just a hair short there of being able to get in on points. If this was last year's championship scenario, you would have been in 5th. But they dropped it down to 4 drivers. So I think you might want to start protesting and trying to change the rules to 5 drivers making it into the championship race. And you might make it in that way. But overall, a really good finish and a really good run to the season. What do you got left to do at Homestead here to complete the run of how things have played out for you for your elite debut?
Just see if I can get a win, just drive as best I can. I've got no points to worry about anymore, I suppose, so there's nothing really for me to lose. I suppose I could still secure 5th in the standings overall, but I mean, main objective was to get into the final 4. Lost it. I think by 4 points in the end, if my maths is right, which is pretty heartbreaking. But on the positive side, first season in trucks in a car that I'm really not strong in, and I think early in the season I kind of showed that I really did not know how to drive this thing. So I feel like from that point of view, I've done really well to get that close to the championship 4 in a truck series debut. So I guess I can't be too disappointed. But I'm just gonna go to Homestead, drive that truck as quick as I can, see if I can win the race. The same approach I've had to the other rounds.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations on your third place finish. Heartbreaking finish overall, but very much I would put down in the contestant of most improved from start of the season to end of the season. I think that that almost definitely goes to you as far as how much improvement we've seen out of our only English driver in probably running at what time of day is it over there right now? Is it
It
like
is
1 o'clock, 2 o'clock?
currently 2:50. Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, get some sleep there. And we hope to see you back next season in the truck series as it's definitely been a great proving ground for you. We can't wait to see what kind of tear you might come in on your sophomore year.
Yeah, that's the plan. Do as best I can in Cup and Xfinity as well. Next year I'll be running that as well. So see what I can do.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations on the third. We hope to speak to you again, maybe at Homestead. If not, we hope you have a good off season and come back even stronger for the next season.
Thanks, man.
That was your third place driver here. Let's go ahead and bring up our second place driver. You did not have the best of, I guess, championship runs with how bad your luck has been, but you came in tonight and you came to battle, Jesse. You came here very strong, had a shot at it. We thought you might make a move on Tate Lytle there if you had to throw it in there. Maybe if you were a little bit closer, it would have been a little bit easier. But overall, I mean, from starting near dead last, you had an amazing night. It just came up just one spot short.
Yeah, messed up qualifying, banged the wall out of 4, and yeah, it just threw it away. But starting in the back, I'm working up to the front, just kind of taking my time, and then I think that third to the last caution just kind of fell like right at the right moment. So I kind of had the game plan to take 2 there the entire time, and I guess so did a lot of the people in the front as well. And just didn't work out. I kind of botched the last restart a little bit. Tate got a pretty decent jump on me, and I just couldn't catch up.
But overall, second place, considering how the start of the season, you still or started the playoffs with how bad everything went your way. I mean, you kind of came back there. You almost won your way into it. That's got to give you a little bit of confidence coming in for maybe next season if you come back. That you're so close. If things just played out a little bit better for you, you have those chances to be able to get there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we'll be back next season and all 3. So there's hopefully more opportunities to finish up at the front, stay out of the bad luck like I've been. But that's kind of all it really takes is just a lot of clean races and don't get caught up in the messes, and you're usually in pretty decent shape.
Well, we want to go ahead and give it to you to do your thank yous and shout outs because you were able to get second here tonight. You still have a shot to be able to come and talk to us on Homestead weekend for the championship race, but you'll have to get that over some competition there racing for a championship. So that's going to be very difficult because that's going to be some drivers that are going to put in some practice laps there. But if not, we appreciate what you've done and I hope to see more of you for the next season as well. But want to go ahead and let you do your thank yous and shout outs for this podium run you had here.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely be back next season, but I just want to thank everyone here at Elite, Elite Racing Network, Elite Racing Leagues. Chad has done an amazing job with this league overall, and just appreciate all the guys that are here. Everyone here is pretty much top notch, and might be a little quarrels here and there, but I mean, everyone gets along really well, and kind of the main reason why I kind of stick around is the group of guys that are here is kind of just like good runs. You don't get that in any of the unofficial series, so it's nice to be part of a league that you get the nice clean runs all the time.
Absolutely. Well, again, congratulations on your second, and maybe we'll get to talk to you again at home.
I hope so. I hope I'll be up on the podium next week as well.
That's your second place driver there, Jesse Racimus, able to get just one spot short, but a really good run for him. Let's go ahead and bring up our winner for tonight. It was kind of looking like maybe you didn't need a race tonight, as there were some other drivers that were going to be playing spoiler to help your teammate get in. But at the end there, if you weren't there, it might have been game over for your teammate. So overall, really good run there for Pro Edge and a little team maneuver there. But overall, a good win for you as well there, Tate.
Yeah, thanks. It was interesting race starting in 22nd or whatever, wherever I ended up starting, and then I think that first run got up to 7th or 8th, and then was probably going to run 3rd if it went green. John was probably going to win anyway, and then the other two got penalties. And I took 2 tires. I'm like, well, worst case scenario, they got to drive through me because the left sides weren't really wearing, and no one really was able to get a jump on the restarts. I was able to get quite a gap, and then they, weren't able to do anything with it. And thankfully, John missed all of the carnage behind us and was able to make the championship 4.
Absolutely. You know how important it is for Pro Edge to get into these championship opportunities here. And he was in a vulnerable spot there with a few drivers trying to race their way in. Did you know the 2 drivers right behind you needed a win to get in? And did you know those restarts were very important? Because if you didn't get out far enough, you probably get used up just a little bit.
Yeah, I knew they needed to win. I also don't have a ton of experience racing either of them, so I wasn't sure if they would use me up. I would assume they would, but I wasn't sure to what extent. And me and John were practicing bump and runs in practice, so I felt like I could figure out a way to, at least use them up off the corner too or something. But I saw those red banners behind me, and it was a little daunting. But I have a lot of experience on a few of those guys, so I felt like as long as I was able to get a jump, I'd be able to at least maintain our gap and make sure that we got the checkered flag so John can make the championship 4.
Well, again, congratulations on your victory here tonight. Want to go ahead and give you the mic to go ahead and do your thank yous and shout outs. Maybe give a shout out for your teammate there that was able to get into the championship.
Yeah, obviously shout out John. He's got a good chance here in a couple weeks to go and add another championship to Pro Edge. I don't know how many we have now, but it's quite we've built up quite a record the last couple seasons, and hopefully he can win that one. And I know that we got a couple guys fighting for Xfinity and Cup too, so hopefully we can do a 3-peat like we did a couple seasons ago. But shout out Days Gone By Vintage Racing Apparel, Brett Wentz. He's always out there kicking ass. Go ahead and check out his Etsy. Shout out to you guys for watching us race fake race cars. But yeah, fun race. Cool to come in and get a win, and glad I did, because otherwise John may not be in as good of spirits right now. But thankfully he's in. I think he's definitely got his work cut out for him. I know Trey and Justin are fast. I'm not sure who the 4th driver that made it in, but okay. Well, at Homestead, I don't know. He'll be there. I think he's got a decent chance. I wish I could go help him out in that one, but obviously I can't. And but Trey is really good on the 1.5 miles, and so is Justin. So he's got his work cut out for him, but he's made a lot of improvement last year or so, and he's just as good as about anybody. He was 5 inches from winning the Cup championship last season. So he's got just as good a chance as anybody. Hopefully he can go out there and show him how it's done. I'm not real sure how the truck's gonna be at Homestead. I don't know if it'll be white liner against the wall or how it'll work, and I think there's supposed to be an update between now and then anyway, so who knows what it's going to look like. But hopefully he can figure it out better than the other 3 and go get himself a championship.
Well, he will definitely have some laps and some time here. We'll have 2 weeks before we go back going to race at Homestead. So we'll see how he is able to do. Again, congratulations to you, Tate, we're going to go ahead and let you go here so we can bring up your teammate there and be able to congratulate him on making it into the championship round here.
All right, sounds good. Yeah. Next in the booth here is Johnny Rocket Cutlip.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and bring up both of them. We'll bring up Chris Wright and John. All righty, we got both of our championship contenders able to get in on points. We spoken to Fuller last week when he won. He got himself in. We spoke to Trey Eitzen when he won and got in. Now we'll get to speak to the other two that have now got a chance to make history and put their name in the record books here in the Truck Series. We've got Chris Wright and Jonathan Cutlip. Both of you, they battled out on track, but both of you have come out on top here tonight. Go ahead. We're going to start off with Chris here. I believe your sponsor's with me, Dave. He's pretty happy that you're able to get his truck into the championship race here.
Yeah, I did not expect an interview. I just came in to congratulate John. So this is John's time. So just real quick. Yeah, Dave, we got you in. We're going for the championship at Homestead. It's going to be tough to beat these guys. John's really good on the long run. And, Fuller and Eitzen. Eitzen wasn't here tonight, but I have no doubt that those three will run at the front, and we'll hope for a late caution at the end and have a shot. But it's been a great season. Been a fun ride. I'm really looking forward to having a shot to go and try something at Homestead and try to win a championship. But, shout out to Elite Racing Network, Chad, of course, Dave up here, got your name on the truck. So it should be a lot of fun at Homestead, a lot of fun racing John. I'm going to go and tell you right now, my pick to win the championship is going to be John. I think if there's any race that's going to end on a longer run, it'll be Homestead. And if it ends on a long run, John's going to be the guy to beat. So looking forward to it. Got Thanksgiving off. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody here in the States. And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Chris, on making it to your first race in the Truck Series season and making it into the playoffs. John, this is your second chance now to be able to get this done. Do you have the shot to be able to get it done here at Homestead? You've worked your way in. You sweated bullets there at the end. Your teammate able to come in there and be able to hold them off for him. But you had a really good run here tonight. Are you going to be able to take that long run like Chris just spoke of and be able to make it work for you at Homestead?
Yeah, hopefully we can finish one spot better this time around. Homestead's one of my favorite tracks as well, so it's definitely gonna be fun with the four of us. I'm expecting all of us to be up in the front there at the end, but as far as who's gonna win it, it's gonna be anyone's guess. It's gonna be a fun race next week after.
Absolutely. Well, just like Chris did, is there anybody you have to thank and shout out for being able to make it into that championship Final Four?
My approach teammates and everyone over there in that group. It's a pleasure to represent them each and every week and just fight for wins, and to be able to represent them in a championship 4 is definitely something I don't take lightly. I want to win for them each and every week. I annoy everyone by just telling them how much I want to get that win for them. And it's just a personal thing, and just to represent Pro Edge and Fueled Up. It's something I don't take lightly.
Well, you'll have some good competition ahead of you. I think some very, very strong runners this season are representing the Final Four. I think all four of you guys are well deserving of being able to be crowned the championship champion at the end of the season. You guys have 2 weeks, so I'm gonna ask you when we before we start the race on Homestead, how many laps you have accomplished in practice and in testing. And I want you guys to keep track of how many laps you did, because that's going to be one of my questions before the race is how many laps of practice you put in. And there will be a prize, I think, morally or somewhat, of who put the most in, who's the most dedicated when it comes down to Homestead and trying to get this championship. So we'll see what you guys' answer are at Homestead.
Yeah, that'll definitely be interesting. Also, I would like to thank you and Dave for putting this together to watch every other week and just get back and watch the broadcasts. It's always a fun time. It's cool to be able to do that.
Well, we appreciate that, John. We this has been my 6th or 7th year of doing the trucks, and every year I consider the truck series my baby. This is going to be the last season I do the trucks, and I will very much miss the trucks as they have always been special to me. And I think everyone at home that watches these trucks can really contest to how well these things put on a show. So we
Yeah.
very much appreciate you, John.
Thank you. It's been fun to talk to you here on Sundays and then race against you on Monday and Wednesdays.
Well, you use your way out in front of me on Sundays and Mondays, so I'm still looking at you from a screen, just at a different angle. It's usually behind you, but
Yeah, we still get to hang out, but it's been a lot of fun.
absolutely. Well, congratulations on making it into that Final Four. We hope to talk to you a little bit before. We probably will probably bring you up at the beginning of practice. So, well, again, keep track of all those numbers. Other than that, Dave, I think we're going to call it a night here. We have our Final Four. The story has been set. The drivers have been determined. Down from, I believe at the start of the season, 60 some odd trucks, 60 some odd contestants have narrowed themselves down to 14, then down to 4. In 2 weeks, we're going to narrow that down again to 1 driver. Who will that final driver be? We're going to find that out at Homestead. We're going to see who's the best of everybody. It's going to be an exciting event. We cannot wait to see there at Homestead 2 weeks from now on Sunday, the championship race. Everyone have a wonderful night. Get prepared. These drivers are going to be testing themselves to the limit. Thank you and have a wonderful night.